Okay, so you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck. You are tired of barely getting by. You are tired of creating these budgets that never seem to work for you. You are in the right place. So today, in part two of the budgeting breakthrough series, we're going to be moving to the next step of how we're going to create these budgets for our real lives. No more guessing, no more pulling numbers out of the air that's not working for you, your family, your lifestyle. We are going to be digging in to the real numbers. So before we move forward, I just want to welcome you back to part two. And if you are new to my channel, hello, welcome. My name is Jamila Davis Williams. I am a personal financial coach, and I am here to help women live free of financial stress. And most of that is going to start with managing our money, which means we need to create a budget that really fits our life. Like I told you in video one, budgets are not a one size fits all. What works for me in my household may not work for you in your household. Your whatever you're doing may not work for your best friend's household. So your budget has to be tailor made to fit your life. This is going to help you stick to it, and not only stick to it, but achieve the goals that you have set for your family. So let's talk about today. Now, I told you yesterday, I have failed at budgeting more times than I'd like to admit or mention, but I had to keep going because I was determined to stop living paycheck to paycheck. I was determined to stop being overwhelmed and stressed out about my money. Getting paid on Friday, and by Monday or Tuesday, I was already waiting to get paid 2 more weeks because I had already run out of money. And so I'm showing you step by step what I had to do to really get this narrowed down and fixed so that that was no longer my story, my stress, or my overwhelm. So today, I'm going to show you how to calculate your average monthly spending the right way, so that you stop living paycheck to paycheck. On yesterday, we talked about the buckets and categories, and I'm going to go over them shortly so that we can move forward with the calculation. So when you're looking at your spending, you don't only want to look at your total monthly spending because you're going to miss the full picture. So if you just know, okay, I spend $4,000 a month on all of my household needs, plus my personal stuff, plus my wants and my debts. That doesn't give you a full picture. It gives you the total amount, but you want to break that down even more. And so yesterday, or in our first video, depending on when you saw it, I'm going to revisit the four main buckets we talked about, because this is going to help you really see where your money is going. So here are the four main buckets that we discussed in part one. We have a needs bucket. These are your must-haves to live and work. So that's shelter, groceries, utilities, transportation, gas for the transportation, insurance. These are the things that I cannot live or work without. And then we talked about the wants bucket. These are things that make our life enjoyable, but aren't essential. We don't have to have these things. So dining out, subscriptions, personal care like spa treatments every other week or every week, entertainment where we're going out, hanging out with our friends every other day, spending money that's not necessary. Those are things that make our life enjoyable, but we don't need those things necessarily to survive. And then the debt bucket. This is anything that you're paying toward, like credit cards, car loans, student loans, personal loans, those kind of things. And then our last bucket is our savings and giving bucket. Your contributions that you're doing towards your savings goals, your retirement, your tithing, or your charity. So these are the buckets, the main four buckets that we focus on. But then within each bucket are the categories. Categories are shelter, groceries, utilities, dining out, entertainment, subscriptions. Those are the categories. So buckets, needs, wants, debts, savings, giving, categories, shelter, transportation, groceries, dining out. You get the picture. So yesterday we went, I keep saying yesterday, but I'm just going to say part one. I had you review your last two monthly bank statements, the most recent one, so that we can really get real numbers to deal with. Because we don't want to do is put numbers that we're hoping to spend on a budget. We want to use real life data so that we can, as we're building our budget, we have a base of knowing, here's what I've done in the past. Now, yes, we want to make some adjustments and some changes, but we can't do that if we don't have the real numbers. So yesterday, we took all of our categories, we spread them out on your notebook, your spreadsheet, whatever you use. So you should have your rent, mortgage totals, your transportation totals, groceries, dining out. You should have all those totaled for 2 full months. Now, here's how we find the average monthly amount, right? On average. So we're going to take those 2 months. So May and June for each category. So for May and June, rent, mortgage, we're going to add them together and then divide it by 2. That's how you get an average. Add those 2 months together and then divide it by 2. That's going to give us an average. Now, the reason why I have you do this and why it's important is because from month to month, depending on what you're spending, it can change. Most times our needs don't change as much. So our rent and mortgage is normally not adjusting. Our grocery bill can adjust. Our utilities, depending on the season, that can adjust. So some of those things adjust a little bit, but rent, mortgage, our renter's insurance, our homeowner's insurance, those things normally don't adjust month to month, but we still want to pull those up, do the calculation just in case there was a change. We can get that average dollar amount so that when we're doing our budget, we have real life numbers. So now that you have your totals, to get the average monthly, the first step is to add those months together, May and June, divide by 2 is going to give you your average figure. Now that you have that average figure and you can see really what it looks like, needs we're not going to really deal with during this series as much, but we're going to look at the wants and the debts. What changes? What things can we pause? What things can we reduce? What things can we eliminate? Whether it's temporary, completely, permanently, so that we can either save more money so that we can reach our savings goal, if that's your thing, or have more money to put towards our debt so we can pay that down, if that's your goal, or if it's to buy a house, put money away for that, or to plan that trip that you're looking for your family. So if you got money saved and your debt is paid off, then okay, we're saving for a trip. If we have no debt, but we need to work on our savings, that needs to be our goal. If our savings is good, but we got all this debt, then that needs to be our goal. Whatever your goal is, that needs to stay on top of your mind, because as you're doing this budget, every time you want to do something different, you need to say, but wait, I'm trying to build 5,000 in my savings account, 10,000 in my savings account. I'm trying to pay off my car by 2026, right? You got to keep that at the forefront. So you got your bucket, you got your categories, and now you have your average monthly amount. So now that you have your average monthly amount, I want you to focus on right now what's in that wants bucket, that wants column. And so if you're not sure what I mean by that, go back to part 1 and look at the column. Remember, I told you, get a notebook, make these columns, your needs columns, your wants columns, your debt columns, and your savings and giving column. And so that way, as you're filling those buckets, those columns with the categories, we're going to focus mainly on the wants. Why? Because these are things that are fun, but not essential. There are certain things that we don't have to have or that we don't need to survive, that we can pause, reduce, or eliminate, whether we do that temporarily or permanently, that is not going to change our survival, if that makes sense. And so that's why we're going to focus on that bucket. So I had to do this for myself. And I've been budgeting for a long time now. However, when the pandemic hit 2020, we started noticing because we couldn't go anywhere. Remember, everything was closed. I was working from home, so I wasn't driving my car that much. Definitely wasn't dining out because we didn't know what was really going on. We were cooking more, grocery shopping more. I started seeing more money just sitting in my checking account. And at first, I couldn't figure out why. So my husband's like, hey, we have extra money sitting in our account. Did you forget to pay something? What are we missing? And really, we realized that because we couldn't dine out and we couldn't just go and hang out like we used to on Saturdays and go to Marshall's and TJ Maxx and all these other places and spend money. Money was sitting there. Now, what I did not do that I'm telling you to do is that I kept making more money in my business and my employer. As my income was going up, I didn't adjust my budget. So money was sitting there, money that could have been going to pay off my car, money that could have been going towards my student loan debt, more money that could have been going towards my mortgage to pay off. I wasn't doing that because I was making more money. My bills were paid. I was saving, but I wasn't saving as much as I could. I was content because, hey, no collectors were calling me, my bills were paid. But when I realized how much more money we had just sitting there because we couldn't or we didn't dine out, we wasn't ordering food, we began to cook more. We weren't just taking our little Saturday excursions, running over to Chicago, hanging out at Navy Pier, or going to these stores. I had money and I had to readjust. So I took my 2 months of bank statements, highlighted, realized that we were losing our mind with dining out, realized that we were shopping way too much, and made some pauses, some reductions, some eliminations so that I had more money to build my savings. Yeah, I had an okay savings, but from March of 2020 to December of 2020, my husband and I was able to save almost an extra $10,000 in 9 months from March to December. And we were able to pay off my car from in 9 months because I had to readjust. I had to go through and look at where was my money going. Honey, I should have bought stock in Marshalls and TJ Maxx based on how much money I was spending because we had it extra. And because I was able to now see, because we couldn't go anywhere or do anything, it was just sitting in my checking. I was able to really see, like, whoa, what have I been doing? So that's what we're walking through. So that's why I had you in part one, look at the bank statements, put everything in the buckets, all the categories in each bucket that it goes into: needs, wants, debts, savings, giving, right? And then add them up so you can really see what it looks like to live your life, right? The way you've been living it. Now, again, we're not on guilt, shame. We're just taking the data, the information, the facts that we have found. And now in the next video, part 3, we're going to say, what can I pause, reduce, eliminate? Now, as a coach, I can't tell you what to pause, reduce, or eliminate. No, it's your life. It's your budget. Only you know what you can truly live without, temporarily or permanently. I can't, I can give you suggestions, but again, what works for my house and my budget may not work for yours. So what you have to do is look at your totals and say, wow, dining out. And now we're looking at the wants of my subscriptions, my dining out, my entertainment, my spa treatments, my hair, my nails, shopping, those ATM withdrawals that I really can't attached to anything, but I can see that I'm going to the ATM withdrawing money. Amazon, Target, you get it. So that's shopping. I want you to look at those and then say, what can you change? I can't tell you what to change. I can't tell you because your life is different from my life. I don't have to go to the coffee shop or cafe every morning because I bought me a coffee pot. So I make it, right? But that may be your like little joy. So you might not be willing to give that up, but there may be something else you are willing to give up, whether it's for a little while or forever. It is up to you. So now that you know how to calculate and get that average monthly, now go to your wants and your debt to see what it is that you can change, adjust so that you can have more money to save, have more money to put towards paying off that debt or whatever your other goals are. So in the next video, part 3, now we're going to take those numbers, now that you've had a chance to think about what you're looking to pause, reduce, or eliminate. We're going to look at that, take that savings, and now we're going to redirect it to whatever your goal is, and we're going to show you how to do that. So in part 3, we'll walk through how to reduce or eliminate certain categories so you can finally start using money to build the life you want, because now we got the real numbers. Now, so don't forget before we end to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that when part 3 is uploaded, you're ready to go. But make sure you watch part 1, get that homework done. Part 2, get your calculations completed so that when we get to part 3 of reducing and cutting, you're ready to make those decisions so that by the time we get to the end, you're ready to start putting pencil to paper and building your budget so that you can walk this thing out to help you live a life free of financial stress and stop living paycheck to paycheck. So if you're ready to be coached, if you're ready to have templates and guidance and accountability, you want to join the Budgeting Bootcamp today. There's a link in the description of this video. The next bootcamp, in my last video, I said June. No, it's not. It starts July 21st through the 25th. It is an hour and 15 minutes virtually. An hour and 15 minutes for 5 days to help you not only with budgeting, understanding how to prepare and build credit, how to prepare for your future, retirement, investments, as well as debt payoff. So we go over all this in the 5-day budgeting boot camp. If you're really ready, you get a workbook and you get templates so that you don't have to make something in a notebook or figure it out on your own. We walk through it hand in hand. I give you templates as a part of as being a part of the boot camp so that you have everything you need to move forward and to start building a financial life that's going to benefit you and your family. So be sure to click the link in my description to learn more, to sign up, because July 21st to the 25th, we're going to be rocking and rolling, and I'm going to be helping those who are ready to move to the next level. So right now, we made it to part 2. You are doing an amazing job. If you watch part 1, part 2 is giving you clarity and control over your money, right? We're just getting started. So stay tuned to part 3 as we begin to look at what can I pause, reduce, or eliminate to help me reach my financial goals. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm so excited for you. I hope this is helping you take the steps to really build a budget that fits your life, tailor-made for you and your family. If you have a comment or if you have questions, one of the in the channel, there is where you can schedule a strategy session with me. It's free, cost you nothing. If you have some questions, if you need clarity about something, you can just schedule a strategy session with me. We do it via Zoom, and I can help you answer. So I can answer some questions for you or help provide clarification so that when we get to 3, 4, 5, you're ready to rock and roll. When you come into the boot camp, Oh, I'm ready for you. Again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video, part 3. Have a great day.